Good afternoon, fine viewers. K04TFE Jason, the Kentucky Fried Ham, here today at US 10173 at the Kentucky Horse Park. This has become my kind of routine on my in-office days. I come here, it's about 8 minutes from work. So it's easy to come here and get set up and get on the air. So this today I brought my Wolf River coil. I try to stay pretty low profile when I'm here. Today I did bring the Wolf River coil, but you can see I kind of set it up under this tree a little bit, so hopefully it'll be a little bit less out of people's way. The radials I didn't spread out all the way in case somebody wants to come over here and park, but that's unlikely. So I'm going to be operating from my car today because, as I'm sure you've become accustomed, I forgot vital equipment. So I have been going to a couple of outdoor events here lately, and so I used my chair, my camp chair, in other places, and it's in my wife's car. So I actually do not have any place to sit. So I'm going to operate from my car, even though I'm using my Wolf River coil. So I've got a pretty good spot here. I'm kind of chasing the shade. The tree is blocking the sun for now, but I'm going to start on 10 meters. Yesterday there was a X7 class solar flare, and the bands are pretty much done for. But today, it looks like, right now, there's a K index of 1, and the SFI is like 247. So hopefully the bands will be in pretty good shape. So I'm going to finish getting set up here and get back on the air with you. All right, so I've got my logbook set up here, just on my knee board for support. And I'm going to use my K6ARK single lever today, just to be a little different. Let's see, how much power do I have going right now? 25 watts. All right, we'll start there. That's pretty good. So if you saw my last video, I dropped my FT891 and the knobs are kind of jacked up on it. So I took the knobs off, and one of the shaft was kind of bent. The central shaft was bent. If you're familiar with 891, there's an outer ring and an inner knob, and so it was kind of putting friction on that the inner knob was putting friction on the outer ring, and it was turning them both together, so my RF gain and volume went up at the same time, and it was kind of a mess. So but anyway, I took those off and I straightened up the central knob, and it seems to be working fine now. So thankfully it's no worse for wear. Ground conductivity I think is really, really good today. I've got a perfect 1-to-1 SWR. We've had, of course, this is just after the Hurricane Helene came through and just devastated Georgia and North Carolina and Tennessee, Florida. We got the remnants of it. It was still a tropical storm when it hit Kentucky, which is only the 4th time in Kentucky's history that's happened. So we had 65, 70 mile an hour winds, tons and tons of rain, power outages, trees down. We never lost power at my house, but we had no cell phone or internet for a couple of days, but most of my neighborhood was out. But anyway, the ground is still really wet because we've had rain for like 3 or 4 days. Helene just kind of hung out over western Kentucky and just spun around and dropped rain on us for a while. So the ground's nice and soft and wet, and conductivity is really good. So like I said, my SWR is just perfectly 1-to-1 on this frequency right now. I'd like to get at least one contact on 10 meters here. I'm trying to get my N1CC award, or start working on it anyway. So I've got 9 bands at Waveland, so I need to figure out another one there, but I'd like to try to get a few bands in today, at least at this park. I think I have 5 at this park. Get out my Nifty manual here. I don't know if you've seen these. It's a company called Nifty Manuals, and they make nice little spiral bound laminated books. They have abbreviated manuals for all the popular radios and stuff, and in this case I like to use this for my band chart because it's nice and durable, and I can never remember where all these different band sections start and ends. Oh, cool, 12 meters. I haven't gotten a 12 meter contact in a long time. So that gets me another band at this park. A very fun little key to use, especially for the all of about $2 that it costs to build. I'm not good with a single lever, but it is really fun. I need to fix the double. I built the double too, but I've got a broken wire I need to fix. All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and go to 15. Wow. about 1.6 to 1. It's an absolutely beautiful day here today. It's starting to be very fall-like. The sun's out, it's very warm in that regard, but it's like, I think 68 degrees or something. It's a nice breeze outside, but of course I'm sitting here in my car, so. Buddy Scott, he's got a YouTube channel as well. Check that out. He's got a fantastic setup with N1MM where he can just hit buttons on his keyboard and he's sending CW like a madman from his computer. It's pretty cool. I bet Scott will spot me if I'm not there, so I did not go to do that, so. At least I hope so, or maybe he saw me on the spots page. I don't know, maybe nobody can hear me, or maybe everybody's just getting off work. I have noticed at this park that when I leave work and come here, it kind of gets busier right before not at the park, but on the air right before I head home, so it might just be a bad time to be on the air. Well, that's 2 bands from this park. I don't think I've gotten either of those because I'm pretty sure I've only used my QMX here before, which only goes up to 20. So I know I've got some 40 and some 20 from this park, maybe some 30. Scott texted me, but I can't see what it said because I'm recording on my phone. It's the problem with not having a camera. I can't spot myself. I can't see if I'm spotted. I don't know what time it is if I don't have my watch. I need to just put the watch in my pack because it's my POTA watch. I have it set in UTC. Cool. That was very cool. So he texted me and I did not get to get back to him because I can't use my phone. So he asked if I wanted him to spot me on the air. That was pretty awesome. But what that tells me is that the RBN is not picking me up, or the RBN's picking me up and the spotting, the connection between RBN and POTA is not working. Either one. But just in case, I think I'm going to give it the beans and go up. Oops, I'm going to go up to 50 watts here. Fading. Figured that was going to be 9.0. Was that G? faded out on me there, buddy. Idaho. Yep. Oh, there's somebody in there. Okay, maybe not. Or there was somebody there for sure, but I can't hear them anymore. Wow, I'm surprised I was able to pull him out. He came up just enough. North Carolina on 15 meters from Kentucky. It's interesting. Man, the bands are eerily quiet today, both with stations on them and with just QRN and all. There's no noise. My S meter is literally not even showing up. Alright, I just checked and I am spotted on this frequency, so that means the RBN picked me up and spotted me, or somebody else did, but I think it was the RBN. Cool, Spain, I think. EA, I believe that's Spain. And that gets me a third new band at this park. There are 2 DX stations. Well, some people say Canada is not DX, but it is a new DX, different DX entity in the DXCC list than the US. So to me, that makes it DX. It's not very much DX. It's close, or at least some of it's close to here, but let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so even more. N4NH. Is that N4H and H? I don't think so, but that'd be cool. I need to go. I need to verify that when I get home. Before I leave, I'm going to try to remember to get on the local repeater and see if I can stir up a couple of contacts over on 2 meters or 440 simplex to get an extra couple bands here. Alright, I think I'm going to QSY. I don't want to be here all night. It's now 6:30. And where am I going to go? That's one problem with this key is you can't tell the top from the bottom, so I need to put a mark of some kind. Yeah, I keep laying it down and then I pick it up upside down and hit a bunch of dits instead of DAWs. Texas. goodness. Massachusetts. Another Spain, I believe. Okay, guess he went away. Spread them out, guys. Cool. Very cool. I've been continually turning the power down because the PILEUPS have been a little bit insane, and I need to get out of here at some point. Definitely got the activation done. I thought. Alright, so I'm down to 5 watts, which is as low as this radio will let me go. So I'm going to make one more call, and then I'm going to wrap it up, I think, because it is almost 7 o'clock. Which is, you know, I don't know. I might hang around a little longer. So that was pretty awesome, actually. I wasn't sure how it was going to go.
Power off.
Like I said yesterday, we had an X7 class flare, which I guess wasn't too awfully bad, because today the K index is 0, well 1. It was 0 in one place I looked and 1 somewhere else, and then the SFI was like what did I say it was, 247 or something. But anyway, that's another one in the books. So thanks for coming along again with me, guys, and until the next time, 73.